I'm the director of the Marine Research Institute in Reykjavik, which is the principal research organization in this country, responsible for providing or generating scientific advice to the government and to the authority and to the industry on sustainable harvest of the living resources in the sea. We are an independent organization, although we are government sponsored, from the parliamentary budget. Say 2/3 of our budget is derived from the annual parliamentary budget. But we are under the auspices of the Ministry of Fisheries and Agriculture with an independent board and with an extremely strong scientific foundation, scientific aims, and depicted in the Icelandic legislation is our obligation to provide for proper management advice for sustainability. So we have a great responsibility, and we are every year producing a document which we claim is the best seller in Iceland. It is a document providing an overview of the status of all the Icelandic marine fish resources. We are actually estimating the allowable catch and the status of between 40 and 15 identifiable separate fish resources based on in-depth analysis of a huge number or a large number of scientists. The member of our staff is 150, and we are involved in international work where we are participating with actually scientists from North America and elsewhere in Europe. So it's a very international activity, and it is important for us to seek, should we say, the best scientific forum in the world in order to achieve what we are supposed to achieve. It is a debated issue in this country, of course. It's a lot of economic interests that are tugging all the time. We need to stand on our feet in order to secure what we have been given as a responsibility, and therefore this outside view to seek advice and seek support, scientific support from the international community is extremely important. So this is just to explain to you who I am and what I stand for, and of course that will flavor the rest of the talk I am going to deliver here. And I have named it science-based management. Now I simply don't know exactly what you're doing. I understand you are trying to make an assessment of economic sustainability or whatever it is you're doing. I would think so. You're trying to understand the status of our resources and our means of securing the sustainability. Is that correct? So then I think I fit very well. We claim in this country we are basing our management of our fish resources on science. And certainly, I think it is true, although we scientists are claiming that our advice is not followed properly, and surely it is not. It could be done much better, but nevertheless, I think we can claim that few countries in the world have exercised science-based management of fish resources to the extent as we have done. I think it is important for us to understand that we are not perfect here. I'm not trying to demonstrate that we are perfect or even more perfect than other countries in the endeavor to try to manage their fish resources. But nevertheless, fisheries is extremely important in this country today, as it was 50 years ago and 100 years ago, which is perhaps an indication that we have not made a total failure, at least. But for a successful system, we need the three pillars, and I will be telling you a little bit about the three pillars of successful fisheries management system. This is obviously something that was I did not delete, but I will also discuss a few species with emphasis on cod, not the redfish, that's another issue, and maybe mention at the very end of the talk the issue of certification of fisheries products, which is quite an important element in the discussion worldwide, because there is a total failure, of course, of the management of fisheries worldwide. And the reasons are more or less very simple, in my view. Advocates for nature protection or conservation of nature have actually entered into this scene and are making a pressure to industries and authorities to behave well. And although sometimes I am not very happy how these organizations are operating, because they are not necessarily always operating on the basis of facts. Often they are very inaccurate, and they are very non-specific in what they are saying, but nevertheless, their intentions are good, and it is perhaps important in the light of the fact that we have made failures in management of fish stocks globally, we can say, and in
Johan, sorry, I can hear that you are more or less talking to us as we are sort of as opponents, as you are used to in the audiences, but we are more or less very positive to everything that you say, so you don't need to make excuses in a way.
I am not excusing. What was I excusing? Sorry.
Well, it's just the tone, just like I can hear that you're a little on the defense. You don't have to.
Defense on what? I'm sorry?
Sorry.
I'm not defending anything. I'm explaining.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I would not understand exactly what you are meaning, because I'm actually, if that was the sentiment you understood, when I was saying that I am not trying to let you understand that everything is perfect in this country. That is a very important message, because it has been said by many Icelanders that we have been doing very well. And certainly, I am not saying we are not, but we are far from perfect, and that is very important to understand, because you need to be critical on yourself if you are going to be successful. That's my point. I don't know. Otherwise, I don't understand what Maria was saying. But perhaps this was the sentiment I was trying to bring and failed. But anyway, this is perhaps where I was going to say what I said. We have had if you look at the century-long history of exploitation of marine resources in this country, we see that there has been a great development in the volume of the fishery. This is from 1905 to the turn of the century, last century, and there you see that cod, the green thing at the lower